My peoples, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know how we do it. We talking boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Another week in of boxing, and next week we got something else coming up. But whoa, y'all know we have to kick this thing off with Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. But before we do, let me just say, happy Monday, my people. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful morning. Toy Mafia, salute my peoples. 310 Man Ruth, what's the deal, my G? In the building. Yo, we talked about it. We talked about this fight. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. The underdog walked away with the W, my people. Huh? Come on, man. Come on, man. Listen. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. We about to get this healthy dosage. Everybody said, well, not everybody, but mostly everybody, Conor Benn is too little. This time around, he's going to get knocked out. Well, they didn't quite play out that way. Side, we never heard it before the fight, though. Come on, man. Side, more and more people saying Eubank Jr. was drained. Oh, yes, yeah, everybody. Look, here's what I want you to notice, Side. The people who tell you that he was drained are the people who tell you that Errol Spence wasn't the same, are the same people that tell you that now Canelo's not the same. Anytime that the fighter they think is going to win loses, they was never the same. That's the new go-to line. Oh, he's not the same anymore. Well, it is what it is. Neri Benet, Eubank didn't look the same. I want you to think about this, Ned. Nobody looked the same when they getting beat. It's just that simple. Errol Spence didn't look the same. He was getting beat. Look at the car accident. Like, who looks the same when they're getting beat, bro? Nobody. That's the thing about it. That when people get beat, it's real easy to say that they're not the same. That's just the way it is. Then what happens? Think about this, Ned. What happens if in his very next fight he get a high-profile opponent and he get a great win? What are people going to say? That he went back to being the same? That he was not the same, but that he went back again to being the same? If he does that? So, that's just the nature of boxing fans. When a guy loses, he's not the same. Always the case. It's always been the case, bro. That's just the reality. Look, when Floyd beat Canelo, Canelo was too young. He wasn't there yet. See? It's not just that Floyd was that great. Oh, no. Canelo was too young. Bud beat Errol. Oh, no. Errol was not the same. Now Eubank is not the same. So, anybody who think those opponents wasn't the same now think this opponent is not the same. So, that's a main narrative when people don't like an outcome. Neri Benet, he didn't look the same versus Liam. Both times. I mean, he did look the same to me the second time around when he knocked him out. I don't understand. How do you go from losing a fight to knocking the guy out, but you don't look the same? I don't know. It doesn't look like you watched the second fight, man. It don't look like you watched the second fight. He knocked the guy out, put the baits on him. The same guy that beat him. So yeah, he definitely looked the same. But rather than sneak hate on Conor Benn by, say, oh no, he's not the same, he's not the same. I'll say Conor Benn is one of the few fighters that we'll see have the audacity to jump up multiple divisions and walk out of there with a W. In fact, it shows the type of heart that he has when he moved up and lost. Remember, he lost the first fight, and it was super competitive. It was a real good fight. So you have to look at the way that he was able to say, you know what, I lost. I'm going to come back and I'm going to fight him in a rematch. Come on now. Not a lot of fighters do that. That first fight was a very tough fight, my people. They went at it. Back and forth. They both landed some big punches. They was trying to take each other out. And the outcome was what it was. So, based on what happened in the first fight, people were saying Chris Eubank Jr. was going to knock Conor Benn out. They were saying it was going to even be worse this time around. Nettie Burnett, you're not the first one to come up with conspiracy theories because you expected Chris Eubank Jr. to knock Conor Benn out. That's what you wanted to happen. You didn't get that outcome. Time to discredit Chris Eubank Jr. Damn, this is boxing. This is what boxing fans do. You discredit fighters. World caliber fighters, championship fighters. Soon as they lose, nah, he not the same. No. He not the same. So rather than give flowers to the guy who moved up 2 divisions and accomplished, you rather diminish the guy that lost. That's boxing for you. I'd rather give the flowers to the guy who dared to be great. The guy who moved up, lost, and said, nah, I'm going to do it again and I'm going to run it right back. No tune-up, no other fights, right back. And goes back and win. The same guy that beat him, oh well. Chris Eubank Jr. was the same for the last fight and then wasn't the same for the next fight. Go figure. But there's not going to be too many boxers of this generation or of any generation who jump up 2 divisions and beat a world caliber fighter. You're not going to see that. My peoples, you're not going to see that. So Conor Benn is one of those fighters who has a win that, even though, think about this is not for a major title. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. was not for a major title, right? Even without the presence of such title, this right here is a career-defining moment for Conor Benn. If he goes on to accomplish, just do boxing, salute my brother, bam. If Conor Benn goes on to accomplish, win titles, and do all of that stuff, this is going to be still one of the biggest wins of his career. And his stock skyrocketed with this W. I'm telling you, think about how often do big name fighters win as the underdog. He went in there as the underdog heavy. Come on. Yesterday you guys saw when we made, well, not yesterday, on Friday, and the day before that, during the last couple of months, people predicting that Conor Benn was going to get knocked out. And if you notice, here's the funny thing, my people. Ernest Morales, salute, my brother. Here's the funny thing, my peoples, that I want you to consider. It took me up until the weigh-in to make my prediction. Up until the weigh-in. And you know, when I made that prediction, I said, Conor Benn is going to win this fight. Because the first time around, Conor Benn weighed 156 pounds. I was like, damn, I still had a win in that fight. I said it was kind of an emotional pick. But 156 for the weigh-in, it means that he couldn't even move up all the way to the 160. He couldn't even go up there. So he was fighting somebody that was bigger and stronger. This time around, though, he showed up to the weigh-in and he was at 159 point something. That told me a few things about the way this fight was going to play out. And I told you guys this on Saturday morning's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Conor Benn was going to be bigger. He was going to be stronger. He was going to be faster. All due to the fact that he was acclimated to that weight. This was a different Conor Benn than what you saw. Obviously, the game plan was different, too. He executed different. For the people that's saying, oh, Chris Eubank Jr. lost because he dehydrated, he's not the same, blah, blah, blah. You know, the sneak hate. I'm going to tell you why Conor Benn won that fight. One, he was bigger and stronger himself. You need to understand that he showed up at 159 point something. This time he made weight, not like the last time where he showed up light. That's number one, a bigger, stronger, faster Conor Benn. Number two, the head movement. The head movement was crazy, my peoples. He was making a miss a lot. He wasn't taking that much punishment like he was in the first time around. Another one, the way that he was working behind that jab. The shorter guy, the guy with the reach disadvantage, and he out-jabbed the taller opponent. He won the battle of the jab. Work behind that, stepping in with that stiff jab to the kisser. So that's one thing to consider. And here's one of the most important things that happened in this fight that people don't realize. Because when people expect you to win and you lose, or you don't look the same, you're not the same anymore. They don't look at what this guy was doing. They don't look at what this guy was doing differently. They don't understand it. But let me break it down for y'all. Abraham Gang. What's up, Jay Smith? Good morning. Good morning, my G. Let me break down something that Conor Benn was doing that was critical in this fight. And you didn't even catch it. You didn't even catch it. I might even have to get up to show you. This was actually critical in this fight. That was absent in the last. Check it. In the last fight, when Chris Eubank Jr. was stepping with a double jab, Conor Benn would stand in front of him and take 3, 4, 5 punches. Pop, pop, pop. Chris Eubank would pop, 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 pop. Would tee off on the shorter fighter. Pop, pop, pop. And Conor Benn, that happened a lot of times in the first fight. Chris Eubank Jr. teeing off close range on Conor Benn. Pop, pop, pop. What was different in this fight? When Chris Eubank Jr. would close the gap with that double, triple jab and start, putting them hands together, Conor Benn would step back. And he simply was not there to be hit like he was the first time around. That step back, it was such a subtlety that a lot of people just didn't catch it. That step back was critical to Conor Benn not taking the same punishment that he took before. So while people think that Chris Eubank Jr. didn't look the same, of course he wasn't going to look the same. Nobody does when they get it beat. But he didn't have that target in front of him like he did before. Another thing, Conor Benn, in the first fight, y'all don't remember he would just try to go in and try to throw punches, even jumping in with the left hook. Did you see him jumping in with the left hook this time around? Not even once. Not even once. Why? He was doing it surgically, working behind that jab. Bang, 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 that stiff jab. Mad head movement. He wasn't the same target that he was in that first fight. So what you don't see is that Chris Eubank Jr. did not have the opportunity to operate the same way that he did when he had a target that was just coming forward and trying to fight him, trying to go toe-to-toe with him. Nah, this Conor Benn was boxing him. And I don't know if maybe they was not expecting that, but this Conor Benn was working behind the jab, using a lot of head movement, dictating the pace. Here's another thing, too, that I want you guys to consider. Remember, I mentioned already how Conor Benn was doing that little step back, and he just wasn't there to be hit the same way that he was in the first fight. But think about the way that Conor Benn applied pressure during the entire 12 rounds. If you go back to the first fight, there was many moments where it was Eubank Jr. going forward, pop, 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 putting that leather on him. And Conor Benn backing away, moving around. That happened. You didn't see it in this fight. Conor Benn kept applying that constant pressure. Habitually. He's a habitual pressurer. And Chris Eubank Jr. felt it. So, you got to give this guy the credit, man. Moves up 2 divisions. How many people's going to do that? And what happens? The same folks that were telling me that Conor Benn was going to get knocked out now feel like Chris Eubank Jr. wasn't the same. Come on, man. Give the guy his flowers. That was a great win. And I'm telling you, this right here is a career-defining win for Conor Benn. His stocks have skyrocketed. You're going to see him go down now. If he goes to 147, I think that's what he said he's doing. He's going to have options. He's going to have options. And he has some big paychecks on the way, too. So, you got to give it to him, man. Instead of disrespecting and diminishing Chris Eubank Jr., give it to Conor Benn and just say, yo, the better fighter won. Ernest Morales, the strategy took away Eubank's advantages of the first fight. I agree 100%. You see, the first fight, Conor Benn was just trying to out-tough him. I'm going to out-tough you. And it didn't work out. This time around, with that jab, with that head movement, with that footwork, with that constant pressure, it was a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. So you got to give him his respect. Now, my peoples, let me just say this. When Conor Benn moves back down to 147, assuming that he's going to be in great shape and all of that stuff, who should he fight off the gate right away? There's options. There's options over there. There are good options over there. My peoples, look at the state of boxing. For the haters that say, no, boxing is down. It's not that. Y'all seen the fight that we just got? Next week, we got Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. Whoa. That was one of my toughest predictions to make. Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr., my people. is going down next week. We're gonna have to talk about it, y'all. We're gonna have to talk about it. Um, but before we get to it, I want to say, man, congratulations to Chris Eubank Jr. Congratulations to Conor Benn. Whoa, they gave us another classic one, my peoples. This is what boxing is really about. This is what the sweet science is about. We got another one. So instead of spending too much time trying to hate on Conor Benn, sneak hate on Conor Benn by diminishing Chris Eubank Jr., enjoy boxing, my peoples. It was a beautiful thing to witness. And I'm going to tell you once again, Conor Benn got a career-defining win over Chris Eubank Jr. Just think about a guy losing in such a tough fight and then deciding, nah, I want the rematch. I want to fight him again. We're going to do that again. Conor Benn is a tough boxer. Skilled. And we saw what he got. We saw what he brought to the table. Let's see. Let's see what he got next for us. My peoples, next week is going to be interesting. Next week, we are going to get some serious action. Sweet science to the fullest. And by the way, this is, one of those classic showdowns. We have the boxer, the one we're expecting to use the footwork, the movement, and all of that stuff. And then we have the puncher that we're thinking is going to go in there and pull off the knockout. Whoa, my peoples. This has been one of my toughest predictions to make, y'all. Real talk. Ernest Morales, how about if Conor Benn comes to 154? The division is hot. That division is fire, and he can go there. But based on what he said, I'm assuming that he's going to 147. That's my assumption. Ernest Morales, don't be ducking. Do not be ducking. Make this prediction right here. Make this prediction. Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney. Who you got winning this fight? MAW. If Ben can squeeze back down to 147, things will get interesting there. Appears Ben might go after Barrios Ryan Garcia winner. And you remember that him and Ryan Garcia had a little interaction, so there's a little dislike there. Crocker from UK is IBF, but maybe that IBF hydration clause put Ben off. No, and I think with Ryan Garcia, if Ryan Garcia is able to beat Barrios, that's going to be a bigger name for him too. And there's a little bit of history there, so that adds a little spice to it all. My peoples. My peoples. MAW, Conor Benn must be confident he can squeeze all the way back to 147. If he's saying he's doing it, he believes in it. Al, Norman, by 6th round KO. Damn, it's like that? You doing Devin Haney like that, bro? I'm going to tell you guys like this. Honestly, this may potentially be the toughest prediction that I've made since I started boxing for breakfast. This may be it right here. And I had to make some tough ones. To me, Canelo versus Bud wasn't a tough decision. I know that a lot of people have, Crawford getting knocked out and all of that, but that wasn't a tough decision. To me, that was actually, I'm not going to say super easy, but I had to think about it. But it didn't take long for me to say, yeah, Crawford got this. This one here, the fight is next week, my peoples. This week, actually, Saturday. And I made my prediction for this fight like 2 days ago. That's how long it took me. Months going back and forth. And I changed from my original. Look what analyzing can lead to. I want you to consider this, my peoples. When they first announced this fight, I said, yo, Brian Norman Jr. is going to knock him out by the ninth or before. That's how I had it, because I know what Brian Norman Jr. can do. They call him the assassin for a reason. He put you to sleep. Brian Norman Jr. will knock you out brutally. I understand that. And that's why. That was my initial knee-jerk reaction. But then I started watching Devin Haney. Started watching him training, seeing how he's looking at the bigger weight, how the speed is looking and all of that. And honestly, I started shifting like, wait a minute. I said Norman Jr. was going to knock him out, but Devin's looking, he looking sharp. He looking good, man. No Diddy. Devin out there letting them hands fly looking sharp as hell. And that's it. You know what? After analyzing all of the data, I have decided that Devin Haney is going to win this fight by unanimous decision. What's going to be the difference? Devin Haney's edge in experience. He's been in the bigger stage. He's been there versus the better opponents. And that doesn't win fights. Don't get it twisted. That doesn't automatically mean that you're going to win a fight. But they're both at a high level. They're both elite level, young talent, special. Devin Haney's experience, I think, is going to make the difference in this fight. Brian Norman Jr. is a special fighter. And I believe that he will be aggressive. He will press the action. Devin is not going to be able to fight him the way he fought Jose Ramirez in the last fight, where he just danced circles around him. Why? Because Brian Norman Jr. has that level of athleticism. And my people, stop ducking that like button. 7 likes is wicked work. I don't think that Devin Haney is going to be able to dance circles around Brian Norman Jr. the way he did on Jose Ramirez. I think it's more going to be like Lomachenko, who has that type of athleticism and footwork to stay in front of Devin Haney, force the action, and we saw what type of fight that was. Devin Haney and Lomachenko was a very entertaining fight because Loma had that type of athleticism. Brian Norman Jr. is going to be there. He's going to be in Devin's face. He's going to apply the pressure. But I believe that Devin Haney will be able to use the footwork, use the counter punching effectively, and just keep that right distance to not absorb that type of punishment and not get caught with that shot that's gonna finish him. So there you have it, my peoples. Devin Haney's gonna win that fight. Jason Damas already told you. You might as well write it down, take a picture, whatever it is. Matthew, Devin Haney beats Norman Jr. in a scared fashion. Devin going to win, but in a boring way. Nah, I don't know. I don't know that is gonna be boring. I don't know that it can be boring. Because remember Lomachenko, the type of fight that was. There was nothing boring about that fight. But why? Because Lomachenko pressed the action and he has the footwork that you're not gonna be able to dance circles around him. There's guys that you're gonna have to fight him. And Brian Norman Jr., I believe, is gonna be that type of fighter too. Devin was on his bicycle the last fight. Yeah, but I'm telling you, versus Brian Norman Jr. is going to be similar to Lomachenko, where Devin's going to have to fight him. Ernest Morales, I got Devin, and he might make it easy as Norman tries desperately to catch Devin in the closing rounds. I think that it is going to be competitive, to be honest. And it might even go down to who wins the championship rounds. But If Devin Haney is able to control the pace and the distance, he could make it a long, long night for Brian Norman Jr. BNE, Brian Norman will win by late knockout. Sube la mano. I'm going with Norman Jr. by KO. So I'm going to say this. It's reasonable for you guys to rock with Brian Norman Jr. by KO. I respect it. And I'm going to tell you why I respect it. When they announced this fight, that was my original prediction. I was like, yo, Brian Norman Jr. going to knock him out. But as the time progressed, and I just looked at Devin Haney and what he's been doing and the way that he looks, I feel like the skills, the IQ, the experience, those are going to factor in. And we're going to see Devin Haney walk out of there with the W. BNE, you're wrong. We're going to see. We're going to see who's wrong. Just be here on Sunday. Be here on Sunday morning and let's see who was wrong. Charlie King, Devin weak. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's weak. We're going to see him at the welterweight division. We're going to see what that's looking like. BNE, Norman better watch out for Devin, little bro, who knew Ryan was going to pop 30. I don't know. Now you're going into the realm of conspiracies. Ernest Morales, boring is okay. A win is a win. That's the thing, that Devin Haney might win the fight. And people who says, you know, they wanted him to lose. They thought he was going to lose. Now it's bashed the way that he won. Or they'll either bash the way that he won, or Brian Norman Jr. is not really all that, you know. There's really a certain go-to that people have when a fighter that they don't want to win wins. Look at Conor Benn. It's not about giving him flowers. Chris Eubank Jr. was no good. So we'll see what happens after this one. BNE, Brian Hungry. He's still fighting for a better life. I mean, you have to understand something. Brian Norman Jr. is a special fighter, and what that means is that losing this fight is not going to stop his back. It could be a little speed bump, but he's not just going to drop off the map. He's going to become a world champion. He's going to accomplish. He's going to see big paydays. So I know we're in the era that as soon as a guy take a L, people discredit him and he's not the same and all this other stuff. But in reality, that's cap, and it's always been. Guys take a loss and go back to winning a bunch of fights. That happens all the time. Look at Mario Barrios. Lost to Tank Davis and got a payday all the way up to Manny Pacquiao. So the notion that if you lose, you're done, that's false. MAW, my reaction from get-go was and is, Haney looks to use his bread and butter by boxing from outside and clinching when trapped or tired. Will be a case if Norman can catch Haney. Norman got to land right. So, look, Devin Haney has great footwork. He knows how to and when to clinch if necessary. And that's the whole point of boxing, that you have to find ways to win. Devin Haney's a great boxer. That's just what he is. He's a great boxer. And he's going to find a way. Let me bring you guys real quick to the Linares fight when Devin Haney fought Linares. You guys remember he got clipped with a monster shot late. Literally wobbled to his corner. Because lucky for him, it was at the end of the round. Boom! Bell rang. He went to his corner, right? After that punch, Devin was 1 or 2 shots away from going to sleep. Linares was not able to land those 1 or 2 shots. He just couldn't do it. Why? Because Devin Haney had the wherewithal to stay away from that type of damage. And Linares tried. He was trying. Could not do it. So to give you an example, if Devin Haney is ahead on the cards and he get hurt late, this guy got the skills, my peoples, to kill 30 seconds, to kill a minute on the clock and not take a single shot. From jabbing to lateral movement to clinching to pushing off to lateral movement to jabbing some more. This guy will kill 30, 45 seconds and not get hit. So while the average Joe get hit with a big shot and they go into instinct, boom, 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 get knocked out with your goofy ass. Devin Haney's out there like, oh shit, hold on, you hurt me. I need to kill some time on this clock, buddy. We ahead on the cards, son. So if he's ahead on the cards, it's going to be tough for Brian Norman Jr. to catch up. Now, if he finds himself, just trying to land one big punch, let's say it's the 11th round and he just need one big punch because that's it, he's cooked on the cards, he's not going to land that shot. If he finds himself just chasing that big left hook or that, he's not going to land those punches. That's it. It's done. For him to land that shot, it's got to be close on the cards to where they both going at it with each other and Devin catch a big shot in an exchange. NAR FC Foundation. Hello, Jay Smith. I think you are wanting the old Devin before his downfall with Ryan. Overall, Devin's last 2 fights will tell you everything you know. He will run. He has no power. We shall see. We shall see. That's the thing. Boxing, I know that for fans, boxing, they say, what have you done for me lately, sports? So it's like, oh, you lost. Look what they're saying about Chris Eubank Jr. He's done. People say he got to retire already. Canelo's not the same anymore. Nobody's the same when they lose. Like, that's always the logic. So Devin Haney took some punishment, had a fight like that, like with this guy. That's how you judge his entire career. We're going to see the next fight. You forgot about his fight with Lomachenko. You forgot about his fight with Regis Prograis. You forgot about any exciting fight that he's ever had. You only focus on the performances that you can use to criticize. That's actually called hating. Ernest Morales. Haney wanted this fight for a reason. Of course, my brother. There's a reason why Devin Haney wanted this fight. He knows that his stock went down. He knows that people are saying that he's not that good anymore and that he's done. And he knows this. They took a fight that they know winning this fight puts us right back in the conversation. You see all the people that are saying that he's going to lose and all the people that are saying that he's going to get knocked out. Another career-defining win. That's what that's called. You see, when you're a fighter, an elite level fighter, right? A world caliber fighter, world championship caliber fighter, and you're going into a fight with people saying that you're going to lose and you're going to get knocked out. You know what that's called? That's called a career-defining win. Take my word for it. That's what that is. Sube la mano. Norman have more than power, and he's going to show that now against Haney. No, I believe he got more than power. He got way more. Brian Norman Jr. has athleticism. He has great footwork. Hand speed is crazy. That whip jab combination, punch placement. Yo, Brian Norman Jr. is a complete fighter. He got everything in the bag. He got everything in the bag of tools. That's why I say with Devin Haney, what's going to edge him over is that experience. Is that he's been on a bigger stage. And I think there's going to be little things that will make the difference. For example, Devin Haney is a little bit taller. Even though Brian Norman Jr. got 1 inch reach advantage. But Devin Haney's a little bit taller. And you know that his bread and butter for the defense is the footwork, the way he moves, the way he used that distance. He's the guy with the longer legs in there. So I believe that he will be able to control the distance. And Brian Norman Jr. will be the aggressor, will be the one applying the pressure. But with Devin Haney counterpunching and with the things that I've seen him do in the ring, I got him winning this fight, my guy. I see it playing out that way. Ernest Morales. The haters will be ready with the excuses. Haney may not be very popular, but he's literally undefeated and has been at the top almost a decade. I have to contradict you on the he's not very popular statement, my guy. Devin Haney's one of the most popular boxers in boxing. If you name 10 people, 10 of the most popular boxers in the sport, you can't leave Devin Haney out. He's one of the most popular fighters in the game. Will Sinclair, fight week, let's go. My guy, make your predictions. Don't duck. Do not duck the prediction, my peoples. Sube la mano, a fighter's only as good as his last performance. I mean, that's reasonable. That's reasonable, but Devin Haney's last performance was an easy W against Jose Ramirez, a former world champion. So if we can, he beat a world champion, made it look easy. We could judge him by that. Let me say this, Sube la mano. I want you to think about this, my brother, and tell me what you think about this. Devin Haney's last fight was not entertaining. I'll give you that, right? It was not a fan-friendly fight. That's facts. But from a fighter's perspective, he went in there, barely got hit, didn't take no damage. Now, he's coming off of a beating from Ryan Garcia, remember that. He got pummeled badly. They could erase the L, but they can't erase the beating from our minds. We all saw it. So, if he's coming off of that beating, wouldn't you say that it's a smart fight to fight the way he fought Jose Ramirez and following that beating, not take no punishment, which is exactly what he did? I would say he didn't gain new fans from it, but he got a win, an easy win. So based on his last performance, he's good. Faculties is good. Footwork is on fleek. Reaction speed. There was nothing Jose Ramirez could do. So while we could criticize the performance, I won't. I say he did what he was supposed to. What if we ask Jose Ramirez, yo, Jose, what you think about Devin Haney? Jose Ramirez gonna tell us, yo, there wasn't shit I could do with him. I couldn't do nothing. Daniel Negron, who you got in this fight? Devin Haney's gonna win. There you have it. Took me long enough to make the prediction. Devin Haney's gonna win. And it's a tough prediction to make, because I'm gonna tell you what, I got mad love for Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Jr. Sr. Brian Norman Sr. I got love for them. But I don't pick based on who I like. I know that Brian Norman Jr., I don't want my pick to be interpreted as I'm diminishing in any way Brian Norman Jr. I know he's a special fighter, and I know what he can do. And I understand why people see him knocking Devin out. He nice. He a special fighter. But after making my assessment, I got Devin Haney winning this fight. Ernest Morales. Kambosos defeats any of the Norman's prior opponents. Possibly. I'm not going to say that, but possibly. Will Sinclair. Devin Haney. Been rocking with Devin Haney Promotions. Devin Haney, I got him winning this fight. It's not an emotional pick. Like I said, I like both fighters. I just feel like Devin Haney got what it takes. Wilson Claire, boxing, his hit and his hit and not get hit. People be wanting Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and that's the problem. If you don't get Rock'em Sock'em Robots, oh, he ain't know that, he ain't no good, he's scared, yo, all I'm saying is, in Devin Haney's last fight, he made a world champion look easy. Whether you enjoyed it or not, whether you hate it, he made it look easy. And and that narrative was out there about Floyd Mayweather. Y'all don't remember when they used to say that Floyd Mayweather fights was boring? Come on now. Superman, that's not true. He never swung one time. It's bull. Be right, you crazy. Superman, the lowest punch count ever. Bogus. He won. Walked out of there with the W. Don't you understand? Walked out of there with the W. So as a fan, you don't like it. But if I'm a boxer, I would love to be in that type of fight. Not gonna take no punches. I'd rather have you booing me and be mad because I was in a boring fight that you say, yo, that was a great fight, and me in the hospital for 5 days because I was involved in a pummeling session. Nah, I'm good. I don't want that action. Ernest Morales, okay, you're right. I meant to say that Haney isn't very well liked these days. Ramirez couldn't cut off the ring. Oh, no, that's the one thing. Haney has a lot of detractors. But if you think about it, all the great fighters will have that. You know, if you look at Terrence Crawford, if you look at Shakur Stevenson, if you look at Teofimo Lopez, they all have that. So going up, if you look at Jerome Bruce Ennis, going up, that's always going to happen. Be right. BJ going to hurt that boy. Just make sure you guys tune in on Sunday because everybody say that on Saturday, you know, before the fight. And then on Sunday, y'all don't show up. So be right. I hope you show up for Sunday's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. And I want to see you copping, please. What had happened was Brian Norman Jr. wasn't the same. I don't know what y'all going to say. Superman, he was terrible. Oh, no, he was not terrible. He was a genius. He was playing chess out there. He was a master of his craft. If you can go 12 rounds and barely get touched by a world champion, you're a master of your craft and a genius. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. What you think about Abdullah Mason? Abdullah Mason is a special fighter. He's going to beat Sam Noakes. And I got to say, Sam Noakes is someone who I don't know a lot about. You know, I hear praises all over the place, how good he really is and all this stuff. And I've seen some highlights. He's very skilled. But Abdullah Mason is on another level. You know, there's levels in boxing. Oh, nice. I love you. So, look, Sam Noakes is a fighter who, you know, I hear a lot of praises. I seen some footage. He nice. Abdullah Mason, I think, is just a special kind of talent. And I got him winning that fight to become a world champion. He's going to accomplish a lot of big things. Superman, he could have swung more. Ramirez was in the days. He never swung. But Superman, you saying he could have swung more. He didn't have to swing more. That's the thing. He didn't have to swing more to satisfy you, my brother. He didn't have to. You're saying he could have. He's so great. He didn't have to. You see? That's the greatness of it all. When you're so great that you could make a guy like Ramirez look like a McDonald's third shift supervisor, that's it. You know that you're witnessing greatness. The Hydro Grind, salute, my brother. Bam! Happy Monday. Let's make it the best week ever. Let's get it, man. Let's get this action. We got a great fight this Saturday, and on Sunday, and next Saturday, we're going to get some serious action. Superman, what happens when Brian Norman Jr. wins and Ramirez sucks? Damn, a world champion sucks? Why you got to do Jose Ramirez like that, bro? Why you got to do that? You see? And that's the evidence that discrediting and diminishing world champions is the go-to strategy of the haters, bro. How is that possible that Jose Ramirez sucks now? It's the same thing. Look, when Terrence Crawford beat him, they even done or they suck. When Haney beat him, the same thing. Jose Ramirez suck? Damn, bro. You cold for that. Cold-blooded. But, again, Devin Haney made a world champion look easy. Easy work. That's the greatness of him. The Hydro Grind, Ramirez is a warrior where he fights people who stand toe-to-toe. But that's the thing. Devin Haney don't have to stand toe-to-toe. He's not going to stand toe-to-toe with Brian Norman Jr. Ernest Morales, great content, great comment from Box Center family. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you. Daniel Negron, Haney will probably win on experience alone. And I think that's what's going to make the difference. Devin Haney's experience. Because they're both guys that are at that high level. Superman, sub to 2.0. No doubt, my brother, my peoples. Box Center 2.0 is at 42 subscribers. The moment we get to 50, I'm going to announce the new show. There's going to be a hotline. You're going to be able to call whether you're going to trash talk, whether you want to compliment the fighter, make a prediction, whatever it is. You're going to have a whole minute to talk boxing, my peoples. Over the phone, WhatsApp. We're going to get it in. Let's get to 50 subscribers ASAP. Box Center 2.0, you see it right there, pinned on the comments. Let's get it, my peoples. Trying to start that show. It's going to be at night. Just know that I had to start the whole new channel because I don't know if YouTube is going to block the whole damn channel. Because we're going to be live cursing each other out and everything. I don't know if they're going to let us rock. If they do, it's going to be epic. But I didn't want to put the show on this channel because I was like, damn, I don't want to lose the whole channel over the damn show. So subscribe. Let's get to 50. Let's get it poppin', y'all. Side, getting my SNC and listening to Boxing for Breakfast. Y'all already know, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Out here giving you this healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Hit that like button, man. I got like 16 likes in an hour. That is diabolical. I know. I understand that some people's going to be hurt because I told you Conor Benn was going to beat Chris Eubank Jr. But that doesn't mean you need to show up and not hit the like button this time around. Come on now. Superman, why is it so difficult to get to 50, my peoples? Yo, people don't want to subscribe. There's 34 people in here. 10 people, 10 of the 34 people here subscribe to Box Center 2.0, and we have 50. And today I'm announcing the name of the show and when it drops. I'm just waiting to get to 50. David Theophil. Hi to everyone. Great show. Great opinion. What does everyone think of Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr.? Well, I'm going to say this fight right here was epic for many different reasons. The first thing that I want to point out about Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. is how everyone expected, not everyone, but mostly everyone expected Conor Benn to get knocked out. That was a main topic of conversation. Conor Benn is getting knocked out. He's too small. Chris Eubank Jr. is too big. And all of that stuff. We see how the fight played out. We see how the fight played out, and there were differences in this fight. People making a lot of assumptions that don't really make sense to me, right? Because Chris Eubank Jr. beat Conor Benn, but this time around, he was weight drained. Y'all think about that. How he beat him, but this time he's weight drained. That doesn't make sense. In reality, the better fighter won. And it's tough because if you think about what happened when Crawford beat Errol Spence. Everybody who said Spence was gonna knock him out changed their tune to Spence was not the same. What happened when Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez? Everybody changed their tune to Canelo was not the same. But they were saying Canelo was gonna knock him out and even make it look easy. So that's what you have to understand, that every time a great fighter wins, people are going to diminish the opponent because it's hard to accept the W. It's hard to accept that this guy moved up 2 weight classes, had the audacity to move up 2 weight classes and beat Chris Eubank Jr. After they done told us for 2-3 months that Eubank Jr. was gonna knock him out. Well, now we need an excuse. Now we need an excuse. That's just the reality. That's the way that it goes. Ernest Morales. Ramirez is hated because they wanted Devin to lose. Devin had a plan. But that's the point. Every fight is not going to be as entertaining. And people will judge you for that fight forever if they can. Let me give you an example. Look at Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. That did not play out the way people wanted it to play out. They wanted it to be boring. They wanted Shakur to run around in the whole ring. And they wanted to see Zepeda chasing him around the whole fight. And if Zepeda don't win, they wanted to be able to say, yeah, but he ran for 12 rounds, running. So what did they say about that win? You know what they said about Shakur's win versus Zepeda? That Zepeda's not all that. They made him into a nobody. They went from saying Zepeda's gonna apply too much pressure, he's too strong, Shakur's gonna get knocked out, to saying Zepeda's a nobody and he ain't done nothing. And that's not really a big win anyways. So that's one of the main go-to. That's like the hater go-to line. Diminish the opponent. The opponent's not the same. The opponent's not good. The opponent, something was wrong with the opponent, that he just wasn't good. That is the go-to. Al, I can agree that the better fighter won. In most cases, the better fighter is just gonna win. There's things Conor Benn did that was different in this fight that got him the W. That took away what Chris Eubank Jr. does. Superman, Smith, do you see what I wrote about Goiás getting robbed? I didn't see it, my brother. It was a great win. Sport is dark sometimes, Smith. Sport is dark sometimes, J. Smith. Blatantly cheated Goiás out of a W. I didn't see it. I got to check it out. I mean, it happens sometimes. Sometimes the person that we think was supposed to walk out of there with the W does not. The Hydro Grind. Saturday is stacked card. I can't wait. It's going to be on, man. There's some real good fights coming up. We're going to get a lot of action. A lot of action on the way. But, of course, you guys know that the main topic of conversation is going to be right there. By the way, we're going to be talking about all of those fights, and we're going to be making all type of predictions. But this right here is the main topic of conversation, man. Come on now. What fight are you more excited about? I mean, it has to be this one. I'm excited about a few of the fights because Benavidez versus Yard. Come on now. But I'm not more excited about Benavidez and Yard that I'm about this one. I'm more excited, and you know why? Because I expect Benavidez to win. But in this case, I'm more excited because look how many people think Devin is gonna get knocked out. How many people still don't believe in Devin Haney? Ernest Morales, is the Shaq versus Theo fight still on? Yeah, that's a done deal. That's it. That's a done deal. Announced date, venue, everything. January 31st in Madison Square Garden. It's going down. Ow. Oh, I forgot about the Mexican Monster. The Mexican Monster is the main event. Superman. None of the other fights are promoting. Ow. I mean, I think they are. They just not putting it out there as much as this one. But they are. Side. This fight should be the main event. It should have been on a different card. Should have been on a different card, so it could have been on a main event. But it's not going to be on a main event when Benavidez is fighting. The Hydro Grind. Bam Rodriguez will face his toughest opponent. Will that be his toughest opponent? We'll see. We'll see. We shall find out. Aroma Sound. I missed your prediction. Who you got? Haney or Norman? I got Devin Haney walking out of there with the unanimous decision. Now, I will say, when they first announced it, my first reaction was that Brian Norman Jr. was going to knock him out by or before the 9th round. And I predicted that because I know what Brian Norman Jr. brings to the table. I know that he's a special fighter. And he has the tools and resources to win this fight. But as time progressed, I've been watching Devin Haney, seeing how he looks in that weight. And I think the experience that he has is going to be the difference. And he's going to be able to win this fight. Side, toughest fight for Bam around his weight is Nakatani and Inoue. I want to see Bam Rodriguez and Naoya Inoue fight each other. But I think they're two weight classes apart, right? And I don't even know if Naoya Inoue is going to end up going up one more division. So I think Naoya Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez is a fight that, if it happens, is going to take a few years for them to actually be in the same weight class. Probably at the tail end of Inoue's career. In 3-4 more years. Side. The Hydro Grind. I got Haney by Tour de France. I tell you what, a win is a win. I don't know how he's going to do it. Is he going to do it the way he did Lomachenko and Regis Prograis? Is he going to do it the way he did Ramirez? I don't know. But a W is what he's looking for. He's going to have to game plan for that. Side, his stats are insane. Never been outpunched in any category. Look, I said this before, and the first time I said it, people was laughing at me. When I have time, I want to look for that post. To me, that's a good post, and I'm going to tell you why. I said that Inoue reminded me of Manny Pacquiao, but better. If you look at Manny Pacquiao at the same age, I think Inoue is like 30, right? Like 30, 31. If you look at Manny Pacquiao at the same age, you'll see that they both have hand speed, right? But Naoya Inoue is sharper than Manny Pacquiao. Sometimes you see Manny kind of all over the place with his punches. When he doing the flurries, he know as much pop, pop, precise, surgical. So he's like a version of Manny Pacquiao that is sharper with it, more compact. And because of that, I felt like he's actually better. And people was laughing at me, man, you don't know shit about boxing. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Funny coincidence. Months, months after I posted that, Bob Arum came out and said, I feel like now, yeah, you know it. It's like Manny Pacquiao, but better. Now, you can say, well, that's cap. That's because he promotes now, yeah, you know it, so he's gonna say that. But you also have to understand, Bob Arum ain't no goofball. He's not gonna take a guy and put him in front of the spotlight. This guy who's accomplishing the way that he is, and make those kind of statements to then watch him get knocked out by somebody or beat up. He's making those statements because he expects now, yeah, you know it, to continue to do what he's been doing. And I expect the same thing too, by the way. Side, you know it's sharp like a Ginsu. You know it's sharp, bro. Sharp. I feel like if Manny Pacquiao and Naoya Inoue both, man, in their prime at the highest peak, Inoue is winning that fight. He winning that. Side, Pacquiao only won official titles in 6 weight classes, not 8. Yeah, but that still puts him at the top. That would still put him and Oscar De La Hoya as the only six division winners. So that still puts him up there. Aroma Sound, he seems like he's at his max weight. He may move up one more, but you're right, because now you know it in height. If I'm not mistaken, he's 5'3". So, you know, you can't go up that many weight classes if you're that height. It's only but so much you can do. Side, you know it's 5'5". Nah, man, that shit is cap. That shit is cap. He not no 5'5". I'm telling you, trust me, that's cap. They be trying to list people taller than what they is. Yo, he like 5'3". If you see him next to other fighters, he's always shorter than his opponents. And I'm not saying that 5'5" means that you're gonna always be shorter than everybody in his weight class. Side, look at him next to Linares. He's damn near the same height. That's the thing, bro. You gotta see these guys literally when they're barefooted to know. Or literally when they're both wearing the same footwear. You know why? Look at Canelo and Bud. Canelo showed up with platform shoes, bro. And he even looked a little bit taller than Crawford for the first face-off that they had for the first presser. Had the platform shoes going. So you never really know until you see them really, either barefoot or both of them wearing the same boxing shoes. Side, Canelo was wearing high heels, the double stack joints. The cowboy double stack joints in the back. Aroma Sound, Canelo definitely had platform shoes on. Come on now. Now, I took a picture. I actually took a screenshot of the platform shoes. Because he wanted to look taller. He was like, I don't want to look shorter. Because if you remember when they faced off in the ring, when Crawford climbed the ring with Turkey Al-Ashi, and they did the face-off, Crawford was looking down at him. So then Canelo was like, hell no, he ain't going to do me like that next time. Showed up with the platform shoes. The Hydro Grind, now wears the Canelo heels. The Canelo heels. Side. Them Vin Diesel joints. My peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Get this healthy dosage of sweet science, man. Y'all wildin' out. Again, I made my prediction. This right here was one of my toughest predictions since I started Boxing for Breakfast. I promise you, my peoples. I made some tough ones, but this right here is the toughest one. And I stand on it. I stand on it. And by the way, shout out to Senior Cobbs. Shout out to Lori Reed. Shout out to my peoples at the Rice Podcast. I know y'all got Brian Norman Jr. winning this fight. Y'all got him knocking Devin Haney out. Well, guess what? Jay Stradamus already told you how this is going to happen. Y'all going to have to see me on Sunday. Senior Cobbs, I'm looking forward to seeing you copping plays. Stop putting together. Stop figuring out what's gonna be your excuses. One love to both of y'all. Now, by the looks of it, there will be no upsets. I mean, honestly, I don't know what the odds are gonna be come fight night. Is Brian Norman Jr. gonna be the favorite come fight night? Is Devin Haney gonna? I don't know. But I got Devin Haney winning this fight. Aroma Sound. I've been watching all Devin Haney fights to build my confidence in Devin, but I'm still uncertain. Look, man, you're gonna find out come Saturday night. But when I told you Devin Haney was gonna win this fight, you shouldn't have been uncertain, bro. You know, Jay Stradamus, I already told you. The uncertainty should be gone. Side, man, the odds gonna be so close. I think Haney might be slight favorite. I don't even know who's gonna be the favorite, but whoever is gonna be the favorite, I know the odds are gonna be close for obvious reasons. Because remember, the bets shift the odds. Look at what Canelo Alvarez, when he was gonna fight Terrence Crawford, he was a huge favorite. By the time it got to fight night, he was already a slight favorite because a lot of people was putting money on Terrence Crawford to win that fight. So that is a factor when it comes to the odds. And I think the odds are going to be close. Look, every time we do a poll, every time I do a poll on the show, we see people going both sides. We have the people that are saying Brian Norman Jr. is going to win by knockout, and those who say that Devin Haney is going to outbox him and even make him look easy. By the way, my peoples, do not forget to subscribe to Box Center 2.0. 8 more subscribers and we'll get to 50. Remember, once we get to 50, we're going to announce the new show and we're going to get it popping over the exclusive content. Exclusive. Go ahead and subscribe to Box Center 2.0. You see it right there pinned on the comments. By the way, my people, the new show, there's going to be a hotline. You guys will be able to call in and you're going to be live. We're going to be talking boxing. You're going to give your opinion. You want to trash talk. We're going to curse each other out if it goes down to that. It's allowed. I had to create a whole new channel because I don't know if YouTube is going to block the whole damn channel because we cursing each other out. But if they let us rock, the show is going to be epic, my peoples. It's right there pinned on the comments. 8 more subscribers. That's all we need to start this show. Al, remember my name. I'll see you on Sunday. Norman by KO. I hope to see you on Sunday, bro, because trust me, I've been doing this. And when people say I see you on Sunday, most of the time I don't see them. Most of the time they might They might see me on Sunday, but I don't see them. So make sure you show up and you show up in the comments. Don't be ghost watching now. No ghost watching, please. Anthony Stansbury. If Devin do get past Norman, he gonna have to run into Conor. Conor Devin? You mean Conor Benn? Don't want that problem. Don't be show up ghost watching. Listen, Devin Haney, I got him winning this fight. And I'm not even going to move on to what's next for him. Because obviously this is going down on Saturday. And it's going to be a tough fight. And I've been saying it. Just because I got Devin Haney winning the fight doesn't mean that I'm going to diminish Brian Norman Jr. in any way, shape, or form. Number one, I got love for Brian Norman Jr. I got love for Brian Norman Sr., who's been on the show, who I've spoken with. Great guy. And, they're performing at the highest level. They're accomplishing. So much respect to Brian Norman Jr., Brian Norman Sr., doing big things. And I expect them to continue to accomplish. Just for this fight, I do have Devin Haney winning it. If Brian Norman Jr. win this fight, and if he wins by knockout, I'm going to have to reach out to Brian Norman Sr. Like, yo, I got it wrong, big dog. Aroma Sound. If Devin can beat Norman, he can beat Conor Benn too. I think Conor Benn and Brian Norman present different challenges. They present different challenges. So those are different type of fights. But I see the similarities too. Aroma Sound. I think if Devin beats Norman, then beats everyone except Shakur. Outside of Shakur Stevenson, honestly, it's hard to see anyone else beating Devin. But I think Teofimo Lopez would have a shot. But the only person that I see that I say, okay, beats him, is Shakur Stevenson. Side, Norman a bit more calculated than Benn. And you know what? I think that we may end up getting that fight at some point. You imagine the explosiveness of Conor Benn versus Brian Norman Jr.? That would be... A fight like that cannot go the distance. A fight like that, there's no way it goes the distance. It's a two-way pummeling session inside of a phone booth. Kobe, I think Hitchens can beat Devin Haney. Don't you think? You know what? I digress. Not I digress. I'm going to take that back, what I said earlier. Hitchens is also... I said only Shakur Stevenson. Hitchens is also a guy who got a shot. That's facts. I'm going to have to give you that, Kobe. Aroma Sound. Benn versus Norman is a great fight. That's just fireworks from the beginning to the end. Whatever amount of rounds it goes to. David Theophil. Eubank was fighting at 168 10 years ago. And he fought like a man dried out at the weight like De La Hoya against Pacquiao. Well, I guess that's a conspiracy and a weak one because he fought at 160 months ago and he looked great. That was just months ago. So to say that in months he was already done, I don't buy it. Great win by Conor Benn, moving up 2 weight classes. Superman. It all depends on the trajectory. Sports are storylines too. He was drained out. But he lost. He wasn't drained. He wasn't drained at all. The better man won. Mr. Motivator. Rehydration clause. Again, you guys have to understand, Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., it was months ago that they fought. It wasn't that long ago. It was not that long ago that Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. fought. And Chris Eubank Jr. pummeled Conor Benn. And here's the interesting part about the weight and that he's weight drained and all that stuff. I didn't hear none of you, my people, say that he was weight drained before the fight. Now he was weight drained. Now after getting pummeled, he's weight drained. That's what I don't understand it. You guys did not say that he was weight drained before the fight. You guys said that he was gonna knock Conor Benn out. Superman, you say he was gonna knock Conor Benn out. How do you go from he gonna knock him out to now he's weight drained? What happened is that he's weight drained. What are we doing? You say he was gonna knock him out. What happened with the knockout that you was expecting? Mr. Motivator, the first fight took everything Eubank had. The rehydration clause and the beating he took in the first fight just took everything he had. Nah, what took everything he had is the new game plan. Conor Benn came with the head movement, came with the jab, came with the footwork, came with the pressure that he did not bring the first time around. That's what changed everything. That's what made the difference. Mr. Motivator, Jay, you sounding like a casual right now. Oh, no, I'm not sounding like a casual. You sounding like a hater. You see, haters always say the same thing. Look, I'm guessing that when Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence, your main topic of conversation is that Errol Spence wasn't the same. When Terence Crawford beat Canelo, your main topic of conversation, Canelo's not the same. So every time a guy gets a great win, if you don't like the guy, you immediately go into diminishing the guy that lost, which is what you're doing now. That's what casuals do. That's what casuals do all the time. You diminish the opponent. See, that you're doing what casuals do. A world championship caliber fighter, you're diminishing. Like, you watch boxing on TV, how much do you actually know and understand? I've been in the ring, amateur and pro. How much boxing do you understand, Mr. Motivator? Mr. Motivator, there's some truth in all those arguments, but where Spence Crawford would have schooled him regardless. But that's the point. If you say that there's some truth to those arguments, tell me who's your best. Who are your top three favorite, Mr. Motivator? Your top three favorite active boxers right now, Mr. Motivator. Who are they? Top three favorite active boxers right now. Hide your grind. The truth is, Conor Benn was the better fighter, but we can't oversee the fact that from round one, Eubank wasn't the same. Well, watching fighters lose, they're never the same. They never are the same. So, look, Mr. Motivator, you said Benavidez, Crawford, and Usyk. Have you not seen the narrative about how Terence Crawford ain't beat nobody and how they diminished every single one of his opponents? You not seen that? There you go. Have you not seen it on Benavidez too? That he hasn't really beat nobody. So they became your favorite fighters for this conversation. But you have diminished Terence Crawford. You have said that Errol Spence wasn't the same. You have thrown him under the bus and discredited world champions. That's what casual fans do, Mr. Motivator. You will take world champions, accomplished fighters, and when they lose, you throw them under the bus and you turn them into nobodies and you say that they're done. That's what casuals do. Come on. Side, Crawford, Usyk, Benavidez, and Inoue are my favorite to watch. All great fighters to watch, and all amongst my top fighters to watch as well. Mr. Motivator, I knew Crawford was the real deal from the Sean Porter fight. Mr. Motivator, everybody says they knew that he was the real deal. Everybody knew. The Sean Porter fight was one of the main ones that you guys used to hate on Crawford by saying Sean Porter's not the same. Remember Sean, just like Chris Eubank not the same, Sean Porter wasn't the same. Errol Spence wasn't the same, Sean Porter wasn't the same, Amir Khan wasn't the same, Kell Brook wasn't the same. Nobody Terrence Crawford beat was the same. Even Canelo Alvarez, who was supposed to knock him out, who people said was going to knock him out, he wasn't the same after beating him. That's just the narrative. That's just how boxing fans are. You rather hate, diminish, discredit a world champion than you rather give credit to the winner. Notice, Mr. Motivator, that you haven't spent one single line on saying, yo, Conor Benn did it, man. He moved up 2 weight classes and he beat the bigger guy. He did it. He did what most fighters don't do, haven't done, can't do. You can't bring yourself to even give credit. Your only focus is Chris Eubank is not the same. Chris Eubank was no good. That's what casual haters do. Superman. There's a difference between not the same and someone being weight drained. Side, Crawford runs boxing. You got it, bro. Mr. Motivator, because he's a drug cheat. He's a drug cheat. Also, so basically you had a narrative the whole time. You just had a narrative. Take that 24-hour timeout. You need a 24-hour timeout for that. You got a narrative. You see? You have a narrative. And when somebody has a narrative, everything they say is unreliable. You hate Conor Benn. So everything you have to say is to diminish his win. How do you diminish his win? By saying everything negative about Chris Eubank Jr. That's it. You're a hater. You hate it enough. There you have it. Side, salute to Crawford for going up to beat Canelo. No rehydration. He made sure they couldn't take the credit away. I love that win, bro. Gotta love that win. Superman, 24, 24, 24. It's 24 hours, man. That's how we do it. We don't do no 60 seconds, 120 seconds. Man, what the hell is that? So you could come back with some goofy stuff? No, you need 24 hours so you could really reflect on this and be like, damn, they really took me out like that. They really took me out for the hate narrative that I thought I was going to spread. Side, Eubank was under the same conditions as the first fight. Same conditions as the first fight. The only thing, the mental game. I said it before, that was a tough fight. So now, coming from that tough fight and facing a bigger, stronger, faster Conor Benn, that was the results. Side, I picked Eubank and he lost. No excuses. Ben just came in stronger and more acclimated to the weight. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. You see, that's the thing, Side, that it's a lot easier, man, to just give credit. Yo, I had this guy, but this guy got it. That's it. That's a lot easier than come up with a whole paragraph of how this guy was rehydrated and this guy's not the same and what happened was. Come on, my people. Just give it to the winner and that's it. That's a lot easier. Ow. I think his father stepping out with Junior was an adrenaline boost. Look, man, these 2 fights, I think everything about it was epic. From the build-up to the face-off, where both they pops facing each other off, to the ring walks, to both of the fights themselves, the way that they play out. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn turned out to be 2 epic showdowns. Will we get a third one? I don't know. I don't think so. Conor Benn said that is the last of the fight. I don't think that he wants to stay up there. And I know also if he was to fight again up there, that would make it even harder for him to move back down. You know, the longer he stays there, the harder it will be to go to 147. So if that is his goal, which it looks like it is, to go to 147, then it's not in his best interest to fight there again. Aroma Sound, who is the better fighter in your opinion? Now, that is 1-1. I mean, we have to give it to Conor Benn. We have to give it to Conor Benn because he's the guy that moved up and beat the bigger guy. We got to give it to Conor Benn. But I'm giving it to Conor Benn right now, right here off the top of my head. However, you know what? I still have to give it to Chris Eubank Jr. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. Hold on. I'm going to give it to Chris Eubank Jr. because he's already been a world champion. He's accomplished more than Conor Benn and beaten bigger names, better fighters than Conor Benn. So, even though they're 1-1 in head-to-head matchups, Chris Eubank Jr. got the better resume. So Conor Benn has to accomplish. If Conor Benn goes to welterweight and wins, beats a champion, becomes a world champion, then I could say, okay, I could consider putting him above Chris Eubank Jr. But right now, Eubank Jr. got the better resume. Side, even in the professional sector, a lot of people think Eubank was drained and washed. It's like I said, once somebody takes an L, that always happens. But think about this. What if he comes back and get another big win? In his very next fight, let's say he get a big win. That say he unwashed himself. He came back from being, so this happens all the time. Every time a guy taken out, oh, he should retire. He's done. He's cooked. Completely get discredited. Especially if you black. Oh my God, don't be black and take a L. You cooked. You're done. That's it, according to the people. Side, you need to see what Dave Allen said after the fight. He said Eubank was shot to bits. Aroma Sound, who is a better fighter in your opinion? Yeah, I say Eubank Jr. Until Conor Benn accomplishes. Superman, Ben looks so much better with that game plan. But that's what I'm talking about. The game plan, what Conor Benn did, is what offset a lot of the things that Chris Eubank Jr. was able to do in the first fight. Side, unwashed. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. What happens if he comes back and get a big win? He's going to be unwashed. He was only washed for Conor Benn. They came back. Side, Ben can beat Crocker, Rolly, and Barrios. The Norman Haney winner is a tough one, though. Okay, but we also have to see how is Conor Benn going to look at the welterweight division after having fought at 160. Is he going to make weight comfortably? Is he going to be weight drained for his fight? Those are things we have to take into consideration. My peoples, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Happy Monday to everybody, man. Let's enjoy this great week. Next week, we're going to get some serious action. I'm super looking forward to this. By the way, I was talking to Bozienes, and I'm going to try to link up with him. So one of these days, hopefully, he can join me on the show. And I'm going to ask him to see what's next for Boots, since Virgil Ortiz and his team look like they're going to duck him. You already know what it is, my peoples. Cy was in the building. The Hydro Grind, Superman, Aroma Sound, Al, MS. Who else was in the building, man? Appreciate you guys. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm Jay Smith. This is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Don't forget to subscribe to Box Center 2.0, my peoples. Soon as we get to 50 subscribers, I will be announcing the new show. Christopher was also in the building. Salute, my brother. David Theo Phil. Bam. Everybody who tuned in, man, I appreciate y'all. Um, I'll catch you tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. And check out the shorts that I posted, my people. Some new videos that I posted. Check them out. Enjoy it. I'm giving you this premium boxing content, y'all. Come on now. And hit that like button, man. I don't know why y'all stay ducking that like button. Like I'm a Shakur Stevenson, and you don't want to fight me. You ducking. The Hydro Grind. This new schedule gives us 1 hour less of boxing for breakfast. So here's the deal, my brother. It's not a new schedule. I'm not on a new schedule at all. What happens is that in the Dominican Republic, we don't change hours. So you guys changed hours, but we didn't. It's the same hour for me. Abraham Gang, we love your content, Jay Smith. I appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to Box Center 2.0. We coming in with that heat, my peoples. That show is going to be insane. If YouTube doesn't block us, it's going to be epic. The way that we're going to be going back and forth. Imagine, we go back and forth in the comments, but when you're able to call in and you're live on the show on speaker and everybody can hear what you're saying, it's going to be a different ball game, y'all. Get ready for that smoke. My peoples, one love to everybody, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.